Hello everyone, my name is Joanna Cuellar and today we are presenting Apple. My group is the number 3 and we are confirmed by Tony Lee, Yao Wan, Ashley Chow, Summer Hung, Teresa Yen, Qing Hui, and Christian Abdi. Now, our agenda. In the first place, we are going to present the company overview. Then, in the second point, business model. In the third point, economic analysis. And in the fourth point, the discussion. So now, a company overview. As you know, Apple designs, manufactures, and markets smartphones, personal computers, tablets, wearables, and accessories, and sells a variety of related services. Related to their mission and vision, Apple's mission statement is bringing the best user experience to customers through innovative hardware, software, and related services. Apple's vision statement is to make the best products on earth and to leave the world better than we found it. So, Apple history timeline. In 1976, Apple Computers Inc. is founded by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Their first product is the Apple I personal computer. In 1984, the Macintosh is introduced with a futuristic commercial that airs during the Super Bowl. In 2001, launch of the iPod, a portable digital music player that revolutionized the music industry. In 2007, the debut of the iPhone, a combination of a phone, iPod, and internet communicator in one device. In 2010, introduction of the iPad, a new category of devices. Apple showed their ability to create and dominate the market. And finally, in 2011, passing of Steve Jobs, his legacy continues to shape Apple's identity and approach to innovation. Some key facts that we decide to highlight. First, markets. The company sells and resells products in major markets through retail and online stores and direct sales forces. Distribution. The company utilizes various indirect distribution channels, including third-party carriers, wholesalers, retailers, and resellers. Third point, in 2022, the net sales through its direct and indirect distribution channels accounted for 38 and 62 respectively. Fourth, customers. The company's customers are primarily in the consumer, small and mid-sized business, education, enterprise, and government markets. Five, competitive factors. Important factors for the company include price, product, and service features. And in the final point, human capital, as of September 24, 2022, the company had approximately 164 million full-time equivalent employees. Finally, the line of production. As we know, Apple creates iPhone, Mac, iPads, wearables, hub and accessories, and another services like advertising and cloud services, digital content, and payment services.
Next, I will present a comprehensive analysis of Apple. In this part through a SWOT perspective, let's dive into its strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats to see how it shapes Apple's strategy landscape. Apple stands tall with several strengths. First, its strong brand image is globally recognized. Think about it. When you hear Apple, you easily connect it with innovation, cut-edge design, and high quality. This leads us to the second strength, product differentiations. Apple products are not just devices, they are experiences. From iPhone to MacBook, each product is meticulously designed and comes with a unique set of features that make you surprised. Moreover, Apple has mastered the art of ecosystem integrations. The seamless connection between Apple devices fosters customer loyalty, creates a unique user experience. Yet, even Giant has area to improve. One notable challenge is the high product price. When Apple premium price reflects the qualities, it might limit its market share in more price-sensitive segments. Another consideration is Apple dependence on the iPhone. Most of its revenue comes from iPhone sales. It could make the company vulnerable. Now, let's turn our attention to opportunities. Apple can explore diversification by expanding custom product line or enter new markets. There's immense potential in focusing on service growth in think Apple Music and Apple TV. Emerging markets, especially in Asia and other regions, provide more chance. Stay in the forefront of technological advancement like augmented reality, artificial intelligence, open up new market and revenue streams. But every journey has its challenges. Apple faces intense competition in all product segments. The company is not immune to efforts of global economic conditions. Economic downturn can impact consumer spending on non-essential products, with the complex global supply chain supply chain disruption are also a concern. Apple's SWOT analysis paints a dynamic picture, and we witness Apple's continued evolution. It's clear that strategic decision will play a crucial role in shaping its future.
In this slide, I'm going to talk about business independence. And we can see that there are 9 categories in this slide. So the first one is key partners. We know that Apple is a very big company, and so they have many suppliers like Foxconn who manufacture the iPhone. Also, there are many developers for App Store. And Apple engage in a range of key activities like producing, develop, and marketing, and the software updates. And the key resource is including the talent workforce and the brand equity and retail store. So this makes Apple can keep producing the new product. And Apple value proposition is centered on providing the friendly, useful software and interface. And also they do a lot in innovation and advance, and they have very high brand image. So Apple is a company renowned for its customer-centric approach. So their retail store to online store service is very good, and they build very strong relationship with their customer. Also, the customer can continue to update their software even they buy the product for like 3 or 4 years. And the channel, Apple's product reach customers through various channels like App Store, Apple Online Store, like iTunes, and Interact channel. The customer segment, and almost every customer use iPhone, and their customer is everywhere in every age, every nation, and the gender. And the eighth one is cost structure. So Apple spend any money on the marketing and advertising. Also, they do a lot of research and innovation because they need to keep producing the new product. So they won't be replaced by other company. And the revenue streams. Apple revenue streams are diversity. So they sell the product like iPhone, iPad, MacBook. And also the revenue they earn from App Store. The last one is when the user subscribe Apple Music, iCloud, they also can earn a lot of revenue.
Now we're going to unravel the intriguing world of Apple's pricing strategies and how this tech giant has mastered the art of capturing the total value of its products to drive higher revenue and profits. The 4 main strategies are psychological pricing, indirect segment discrimination pricing, minimum advertised price, and price skimming. Let's start with the foundation. Psychological pricing taps into behavioral insights that appeal to buyers. Apple strategically employs this approach to influence consumer perception and drive purchasing decisions. For example, it sets higher than average prices to convey prestige, status, and inclusiveness. This strategy helps maintain Apple's high-end image and ensures high profit margins within the market oligopoly. Ever wondered why Apple prices its products at odd numbers like $1.99? This odd pricing technique suggests bargains to consumers. Apple strategically designs different iPhone models, creating incremental margins through each segment implementation. It caters to various customer segments with models like iPhone SE, iPhone 15, iPhone 15 Plus, iPhone 15 Pro, and iPhone 15 Pro Max. Each model is meticulously designed to appeal to specific consumer preferences. Apple understands that different segments respond to variables with varying levels of sensitivity. Two major variables are storage and specifications. By managing these variables, Apple aims to make the Pro versions more attractive to customers, encourage them to upgrade to higher-priced models. This chart showcases the varying prices of different iPhone models, with the high-end model iPhone 15 Pro being 2 or 3 times more expensive than the low-end model iPhone SE. There are obvious differences in terms of specifications between the two models, such as size, resolution, and technology. Additional distinctions can be identified between them in terms of chip, RAM, internal storage, and battery capacity. Here's a comparison chart for the specification differentiation of iPhone 15 models for your reference. Minimum advertised price ensures that the price for Apple products never drops below a specific threshold. This tactic maintains profitability, prevents merchants from discounting below a certain level, and upholds the clarity of Apple's distribution channels. Apple's pricing strategies align with Steve Jobs' initial goal, developing superior products that command premium prices. This dedication to quality and innovation continues to drive Apple's success. Price skimming is a strategic approach where Apple initially prices products at a higher point, but gradually lowers them over time. This tactic is employed strategically, especially when competitors enter the market with similar offerings. Apple kicks off a product launch with higher than average prices, setting the stage for a premium positioning in the market. This not only capitalizes on early adopters willing to pay a premium, but also establishes a sense of exclusivity. As competitors enter the market with similar products, Apple adjusts its pricing strategy to maintain competitiveness and attract a broader customer base. Apple strategically reduces the prices of its older products. In conclusion, Apple's pricing strategy is a masterclass in leveraging psychological pricing, maintaining premium value, and adapting to market dynamics. It's not just about selling products. It's about crafting an experience that resonates with consumers.
So I'll be covering the economic analysis of Apple in the next few slides. We start by talking about externalities. Externalities are benefits or costs that directly convey to others. There are actually a few positive externalities that Apple has. Despite online sales was performing at a rapid rate, Apple plans to invest even more in retail stores. As the investment in its retail shops, it increases the foot traffic and the land price of the surrounding neighborhoods, bringing positive benefits to those restaurants and shops nearby. The company puts in efforts to preserve local history and culture while improving the customer experience at the same time. One very good example was the refurbished of Via del Corso in Rome. And another positive benefits that include App Store. It creates an online platform for, and allows other designers to develop their apps and make sales on our platform. As you can look at the chart on the right, we learned from class that one way to resolve positive externalities is to combine the marginal benefits. However, Apple has no current plans of acquiring lands that are in close proximity to our retail shops. We rather focus on what we're really good at, which is designing the state of art products for our customers. And moving on to the negative externalities, our manufacturers may actually create a lot of pollutions and carbon footprints emissions in countries like China. We understand that we're not able to resolve the negative externalities by reducing our production rate or quantity. We, however, do invest heavily on solutions that could potentially offset the negative externalities. One of a good example was to include redesign to the existing 3Rs, which are reduce, reuse, and recycle. We redesigned our laptop that was originally covered in composite materials to 100% aluminum, making recycle easier. We are also committed to ESG and making the best use of green energy. As we speak, 100% of facilities are powered by green energy 24/7. So that concludes the positive and negative externalities, and I will pass down the mic to my next teammate.
For the market power, Apple is more likely to be oligopoly. First, Apple is dominant in the technology industry. It has an integrated ecosystem of devices and services to keep customers to their products. Second, there are few competitors. For instance, in the smartphone market, iPhone competes with Samsung and Google, etc. Third, for the price characteristic of iPhone is that it has a strong brand image and high reputation, which allows Apple to keep the higher price for their products. Lastly, Apple also has higher barriers to letting others enter the technology industry. For the further characteristic of Apple in the oligopoly is that this graph shows the King's demand curve that illustrates the oligopoly situation. The demand curve, which is equal to the average revenue curve, is kinked at the point where the demand curve changes from elastic to inelastic. It has caused the different firms to work against each other to maximize profits. That said, Apple increases the price. Competitor will choose to keep the price and let customers think Apple is too expensive, and the demand for elasticity is relatively elastic. On the contrary, when Apple decreases the price, the competitor will also decrease the price because it doesn't want to lose the market share, and the elasticity of the demand will be relatively inelastic, creating the King's demand curve. For the Apple's revenue, the market cap is over 3.05 trillion in July of 2023, and 35% of the revenue is from the United States. Since the revenue is around 300 billion in 2023, 52% of the sales come from iPhone. For the supply, there are around 200 suppliers around the globe. They are mainly from the bases of Taiwan, China, the US, and the other countries, such as Korea and Japan. In 2023 of Q2, China is the largest market for iPhones, which is accounting for 24% of iPhone shipments, while the US is accounting for 21%. In the left-hand side of the graph, due to the release of iPhone 15, Apple set a higher selling price from P1 to P2, and it caused the supply curve to shift from S0 to S1. The quantity decreased from Q1 to Q2. Since the price of the iPhone 15 is too high, during the e-commerce of the Double 11 promotion, Apple provided discounts. The supply curve shifts to the right from S0 to S1. The price decreased from P1 to P2, and the quantity increased from Q1 to Q2.
Next, we will discuss about demand elasticity. Demand elasticity measures how sensitive the quantity demanded is to a change in price. For Apple durable products, we can say, for example, for iPhones and MacBooks, we see that the demand is less elastic in the short run. Why? This is because these high quality products have long lifespan, and consumers are less likely to replace them frequently. However, over the time, as consumer needs evolve, the new models are introduced, the demand becomes more elastic. People start to adjust their preference, and they will consider upgrading to the latest technology. This will make the demand for older models more sensitive to price changes. Moving on, we will discuss about supply elasticity. This concept reflects how responsive the quantity supplied is to a change in price. And Apple supply is relatively inelastic due to, due to the capital intensive nature of production and also the strong brand loyalty that Apple have enjoyed. From the graph, we can see it's very interesting because changes in supply will not affect the product price. Why? We can see there is some factor affecting this. First, the capital intensive nature of the production and also the production period. Third, Apple has a very strong brand loyalty from its customer. And also the last one is the inelastic demand. All of this established Apple premium pricing strategy that its customer base is willing to pay regardless of minor fluctuation. By understanding this demand and supply elasticity of Apple products, it will help us comprehend the market dynamics and the company pricing strategy.
In this segment, I'm going to introduce the competitors of Apple main product. The order is determined based on the revenue percentage. First of all, we'll start from iPhone, which contributes almost half of Apple's global revenue. We can indicate that cut in Q3 this year, Apple leads the smartphone yearly market share in the US at 53%, followed by Samsung at 25%. Together, they have the market share with a total of around 78% combined. We also have Lenovo 11% and Google 4%. From the history trending charts, we can find that Apple and Samsung indeed occupy the first and the second place since 2020. Apple also keeps the market share no lower than 50% from middle 2021. I believe that this situation will continue in the short term. Here we listed the latest model for the top 4 brands in US for your reference. As for the second product, it will go to personal computer, which contributes around 9% of Apple's global revenue. Since there's no clean data for US market only, so I put global numbers instead. In Q3, Lenovo, HP, and Dell ranked as top 3 with almost 70%, and Apple listed as fourth at almost 10% global market share. The market share of this brand had remained at a stable level since 2020. The ranking here also matched what we just mentioned in previous stage. We also listed the latest model for the top 4 brands globally for your reference. Let's move on the rest products. Since they are not critical in Apple revenue, I will speed up and give a brief picture of them only. Apple is the top tablet supplier among worldwide with over 50% market share. Following, we have Samsung, Amazon, and Huawei. The same, we listed the main product and you can take a look. Finally, we will talk about wireless headphones like AirPods. In US, Apple occupied around 40% market share, and we have Beats, JBL, and Bose as well. Among all brands, only Apple reached over 30% market share. Same as previously, we listed the main product and you can take a look.
Our team would like to conclude our presentation with 2 discussion questions for everyone to think. The first one is, explore how fluctuations in supply chain costs impact Apple's pricing decisions. How does a company navigate these challenges without compromising its pricing strategy? And the second question is, how do decisions made by Apple impact other major players in the tech industry and vice versa? Discuss the concept of interdependence among oligopolists. Here are some references. And we'll see you in the class. Thank you very much for your listening.